What is up, gentlemen? So today's video, I get a bunch of questions from people asking me the difference between hiring employees and contractors, and there's a big difference. And before I get into how to decide when you're going to hire an employee versus a contractor, I'm going to tell you a little story about my first big year as an entrepreneur. So it was my very first year with my debt negotiation business, and we had done about $302,000 in sales. And I remember it because Boss 302 Mustang was my favorite car when I was a kid. So $302,000 worth of sales, and brought all my paperwork into my accountant. Very proud of myself. He comes in after looking at all my paperwork and my books and has a very stern, pissed off look, throws the stack of file folders down in front of him, and he looks at me and he goes, "What the fuck were you thinking?" And I just looked at him like, what? I thought I did a good job here. I did over 300 grand with 2.5 employees, and I felt stellar. And he said, well, you've got everybody employed as a contractor, but they're employees. Canada Revenue Agency does not like that. You've got some serious taxes you got to pay. This is a problem. Of course, you know, first year in business myself, I wasn't really sure what to do or how to conduct business. And don't let this story scare you guys. Accountants / bean counters, they do things a certain way. They cross their T's and dot their I's, and they follow the rules, and that's what they do, and they're very good at it, and it's not a bad thing. It's okay to hire contractors as employees for the first little bit that you're in business. Don't worry about it too much. You can deal with that within the first year or so when you file your taxes. So what I had done is I basically just kind of checked all my employees every year, every pay cycle, and I just relied on them to do their tax remissions and source deductions and all that stuff, which is not the way the government wants you to do it. And I'm going to say globally around the world, not just in Canada for Canada Revenue Agency or anything. That's pretty much the way that it works. The reason why the government gives you licenses to run a corporation or to be a limited liability partnership is because they rely on you to pay your employees, but as you pay your employees, deduct taxes and any other source deductions that need to come off that have to go to the government to pay for employment insurance, healthcare costs, blah, 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 blah. The government, you know, when I say they collect a shit ton of money from employers that take money from employees and send it to the government. The employer is also responsible for topping up a certain percentage or a certain amount on top of the employee's amount, whether it might be for unemployment insurance or anything relevant to that, to again give that to the government. So they rely on employers for a big part of their revenue. So how do you decide to hire somebody as an employee? Meaning you hire them, you put them on payroll, you give them benefits, you pay unemployment insurance benefits to the government depending on what country you all live in. But how do you decide to do that? And it's very, very simple. Anybody that's working for you on a consistent basis, so usually there's an 80-hour pay period every 2 weeks. That would be a consistent payroll cycle. Anybody that's receiving about 80 hours worth of work every 2 weeks is an employee. You can't pay them as a contractor. You can, but you'll get in trouble. But you can't pay them as a contractor for a prolonged period of time. You can do it for a short period of time and then deal with the taxes later. That's the way I handled it within the first year, to reconcile everything and make everything line up so I wasn't in trouble. But you can't do it for an extended period of time. It is a big source of revenue the government misses, and they will find you and they will get it and you will pay fines. So that being said, make sure if you have anybody working more than just short-term jobs. I'll give you an example. If I hire a web designer to build me a new website, I'm not putting them on payroll. I'm paying them as a contractor. They're going to invoice me, and then I pay them whatever it is that I owe them, cut them a check, and then we're done, and our maybe 2 or 3 month relationship ends at that. So these short-term contract type rules you can put on as a contractor. Anything beyond that, you got to hire them as an employee. If they're there every day of the week, for an entire year, they got to be on payroll. So that's the answer to that question. You, of course, need to rely on a tax professional in your country. I get that most of the people that watch these videos are in the English-speaking world in North America and Europe. So make sure you consult with a tax professional. But the general rule of thumb is, anytime somebody's working for you during an 80-hour pay period over 2 weeks, during that full-time, consistently, time after time, they're an employee. Hire them as an employee. Okay, guys, thanks for checking out the video. Talk to you guys later. Peace.